Welcome to another episode of Answer Your Question. This is where I try my best to answer your question, or at least pretend to answer your question with some sort of video. Today, we are going to answer this guy's question. It says, can you help me understand how to use CT scope? Sure, it's not really a programming question, but we can do that. CT Scope is a software package made by Control Techniques. It's a great package for debugging things like your code or the behavior of the drive or, well, just about anything within it. So let's take a look. To get started, click on COM settings. Select your protocol. It's going to be one of these two options. You're either going to use CT-RTU, which means you're using the USB cable to talk to the drives, or if you're using an Ethernet cable, you're going to use CT-TCP. After you've selected your protocol, click OK. Then on the right side, you will see that there are some tabs at the bottom. These tabs are associated with three different options: the analog channel, digital channel, and the triggers. Let's set up the analog channel. Come up here, you'll notice that you have 8 channels to select from. You can see that analog channel 1 is selected. Click here and it will pull up a select parameter wizard. Come down here and select your drive. Select your mode. Select the parameter you want to look at. I'm going to look at analog input 1. Put in the IP address of the drive you want to talk to. Go to the next channel. Do it over and over again. Do the same thing. Let's look at the DC bus voltage. And now I'm going to look at maybe a digital input. So now I have 3 things on my graph. So let's go up here to the top and hit start. And you can see that I have a red line, a yellow line, and a green line. Okay. If I change my analog value, you can see it goes between 0 and 100. And you can see my DC bus voltage is here at the top. If I go to my digital input 4, which is this green line, and I turn it on, you can barely tell that it's changing state. This is when I like to use the scale function over here. So each one of these channels get to have its own scale. Come over here and scale it up. I'm going to scale it by 100. So when the digital input's on, it's going to have a value of 100, and when it's off, it's going to have a value of 0. Well, now I can see my digital input turning on and off, but the screen is kind of flying a little fast for me to actually see what's going on. Over here on the left side, you're going to see this time and division. What you're going to do is you're going to double click on it, and I like to use 5 seconds. Now you can see the screen's moving much slower. If you look at the vertical lines, you'll notice at the bottom it says 60 seconds, 65 seconds, 70 seconds. It's counting by 5 seconds. If you change this to 10 seconds, now your vertical lines are divided by 10 seconds. Okay. If we want something to happen in the digital window, we can do the same thing. We come over to the digital, we click on this little button here, and we go through the whole routine again. Maybe I want to look at digital input number 5, but I need to type in the IP address. Enable it. You can see that my input number 5 is coming on, and it's showing up in the digital window at the top, and my input number 4 is down here on the analog. So you can use either window, but this one up here is reserved for on and off things, and this is reserved for value type stuff. Now I don't ever use this digital window, so I'm going to come up to the top and disable this window so that I have more room for my analog. Okay. Now after you've recorded your data, you get to go to the best part of this software. You get to analyze the data. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit stop, and we're going to zoom in. You can zoom out, zoom in, Okay, and I'm going to zoom into this section right here. So this is my analog, and you can see that it was going up and down. And we can use this feature here called cursor, and if I click on it, you can drag these blue and purple lines around and measure things. So let's measure this spike right here, and I'm going to measure this spike right here. Okay. So what this does for us is over here on the left side, it tells me that it was 0.787 seconds between this spike and this lower spike. And the amplitude difference is 62. So it does some math for you, which is kind of nice. And after you're done, you can just close the cursor. You can zoom back out and look at something else. So of course you can save the scope file to view later. What you might not know is that you can also save it as a raw file. And this raw file is really just a CSV file. So you can open it up in Excel or any other spreadsheet and look at the data again, mixed with other stuff. You can manipulate it. So this is how you use CT Scope. If you have a question that you would like me to try to answer with a video, please put it in the comment section below or email me or whatever. And I'll try to get to you as soon as I can, within at least the next 5 years. And if you're still bored, click one of these videos over here, especially that one. That one looks like it's a really good one. And of course, click that button.